Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing yoga and calisthenics tailored towards our legs. So let's get started with some deep breathing. So we're going to begin with inhaling fully through the stomach and pushing it out. And then as we exhale, suck in the stomach. This is a type of deep breathing called yogic breathing. We're going to do about 5 breaths just to warm up the body and keep our breath activated throughout this entire workout. And be careful not to use your shoulders when breathing. So as you can see, we want to be breathing through our diaphragm, not our shoulders and chest. And a way we can measure this is place our hands on our rib cage, take a deep breath in and feel the lungs expand. And as we exhale, feeling them shrink and contract. Okay, and moving into our neck rolls as we slowly rotate the head side to side. And then looking up, taking our gaze to the ceiling, and then looking down. And when we're looking down and bringing our chin to our chest, make sure to do this slow, feeling a nice pull on the back of the neck. Maybe you feel some tightness and some tension there. Okay, and then moving into our shoulder warm-up. So we're going to start with rolling the shoulders back 5 times, rolling the shoulders forwards, and then moving into some arm circles. So again, we're going back 5 times, nice and slowly, not overworking the muscles, just warming them up. Coming forward 5 times. And then repeating on the left side. So we're going back 5 times and then coming forward 5 times. Okay, and taking a deep breath in, extending the arms above the head, and then dropping to the left side of the body, so onto our elbow, and then moving to the right side, and alternating side to side. Please take this slower if you need, making sure that you can feel it in the obliques. And extending both arms over the head, we're going to fold forward. And then we're going to start by slowly walking the hands towards the right side. And then back over towards the center and to the left. And then coming into these half circle rotations as we go back. And this is our spinal warm-up. And releasing and coming into our wrist rotation. So we're going to extend both arms out to the front and then start moving the hands up and down, around in circles, going the other way. And then we can also lean forward onto our wrists, either coming onto the palms or onto the back of the hands, making sure that they're nice and warmed up. Okay, and now coming into our butterfly pose. So we're going to bring our feet together and start moving the knees up and down. This pose is going to open up the hip flexors. And if you would like a little less tension on your hips, you can bring the feet outwards or you can bring the feet further apart, all depending on what's comfortable for your body. Keeping the spine straight, the head tall, the shoulders down, as we open up the groin in this stretch. You have the option to lean forwards and press the legs down with your elbows. And now extending both legs out to the side to come into our dragonfly pose. And from here, we're going to take a deep breath in and push the hips up. You may feel a click or two, I always do in my hips. Just making sure to take it quite gentle with your body if you're new to this exercise. And now we're going to fall forward to the right side. So we should be feeling this in the side of the obliques. You can come high or as low as you feel comfortable. Okay, and now lifting up and then coming down to the left side. You might not be able to go as deep on this side, and that's perfectly fine as long as we're feeling it in the obliques. Okay, now coming into our half dragonfly. So keeping the right leg extended, we're going to bring the arms up above the head and come into a half forward fold. Again, you should feel the pull in the obliques. Not feeling the need to come too low into this one. You can grab your ankles, you can grab your toes. You can come all the way down. Okay, and now switching to the right side. So we're going to breathe out and come into our full forward fold. Or another name for it is called the half dragonfly. Again, you can pull on your toes if you want to get that extra hamstring stretch. And now we're going to come onto all fours, keeping your hands shoulder width apart and your knees directly below your hips. Inhale deeply while curving your lower back and bringing your head up. And then exhale deeply, bringing your stomach in, arching your spine, and bringing your head and pelvis down like a cat. Now staying on all fours, extend the left leg back and reach your right arm forward. Take one breath here, and as you exhale, bring the elbow and knee together, rounding the back. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, lengthen and reach. Okay, now moving to the other side. Again, as we extend, we're going to exhale, inhale, drawing the knee and elbow in. You don't need to come very high with your leg, keeping them rather parallel, horizontal. I just like to bring it a little bit higher for that extra glute workout. Okay, and now we're going to push the hips back, extend the arms forward to come down into our child's pose. And now slowly releasing, coming into a seated position and then rolling all the way down onto our backs. Raise the arms up above the head into a full body stretch. And then we're going to begin with tucking the right knee into the chest, pulling it towards us as we start into our ankle rotations. Slowly going round and then up and down, pointing the foot, and then going side to side, and then squeezing the toes up and down. And then we're going to warm up our knees by extending and bending the leg up and down, and then again side to side 5 times. Okay, and now drawing that knee back in, we're going to guide it to the left side of our mat and come into our spinal twist. Extending that right arm out to the side. You can keep the knees slightly elevated. And now bringing it back in. extending the leg, you can pull it towards you, and then coming into our figure of 4, crossing this right foot over the left knee, and then placing the hands around the back of the leg and pulling it towards you. Okay, and now releasing, we're going to come into our leg circles with the option of placing your hands underneath your hips as we extend this right leg and come into wide circles. And this is going to really open up those hip flexors and work out the leg at the same time as we go the opposite direction. So we're going clockwise, then anti-clockwise. Okay, and now gently lowering this leg and repeating everything on the left side. So we're going to pull that leg in. And now we're going to begin with rotating the ankles, going up and down, and side to side, keeping that foot pointed and then flexing. And then we're going to flex and point the toes, really isolating it and warming up the feet to prevent any injury. And then we're going to warm up the knees by extending the leg up and down, doing this 5 times, and then swaying the leg side to side, keeping the shin parallel to the mat. Okay, now drawing that knee in, we're going to come into our spinal twist again by guiding this left leg to the right side of the mat and then extending our arm out horizontally to the other side, keeping the shoulders pressed down to get that extra stretch and that nice opening of the body. And then into our figure of 4. So we're going to cross the foot over the right knee and then pull in the leg, clasping the hands around the back of the leg and breathing deeply. And then releasing, we're going to extend this left leg and come into our wide leg circles. Again, you can place the hands beneath the hips and then slowly coming anti-clockwise, keeping the toes pointed, the leg straight as you can manage, as we go clockwise 5 times. And then releasing the leg. Okay, and now we're going to come into our sideways scissors. So again, we can keep the hands underneath the hips, keep both legs extended to the ceiling as we bring the feet out farther apart and then draw them back in, imitating something like scissors. And this is going to work out the whole thighs, open up the hips, and work out the core. Okay, and now we're going to tuck the knees and go in some gentle circles just to massage the lower back, going clockwise and anti-clockwise, keeping this nice and slow, really warming up that lower body. Next pose is optional, called the snail, and this is going to involve raising both legs to the ceiling and then bringing the feet all the way back over the top of our head. Now, remember that the legs need to be straight, so we're kind of pulling on the hamstrings and the lower back, and we can also have the feet elevated off the floor onto a block to decrease the tension. And this is going to really open up the whole body. Okay, now releasing the leg one by one and coming straight into our shoulder stand, keeping the core tight, the legs straight, and then releasing to come straight into our glute bridges, Placing the feet straight onto the mat, keeping them beneath the knees, and then shimmying the shoulders all the way down, keeping that neck nice and long and the chest open as we lower the hips down and come into our glute bridges. Inhaling and exhaling, not coming fully down to the mat, keeping the core and the hips nice and strong as we activate the glutes. You can place the arms down by the side. And releasing, we're going to bring the knees to the chest and then come up to seated position. Cross the feet and roll forward onto all fours. And from here, we're going to find our downward dog. So extending the legs and then coming into a pedal. So we're bending one leg at a time. Now either you can walk the feet towards the hands, or you can look up towards the hands, bend the knees, and then hop forward into our full forward fold. And here we can come into our dangling position. So we can clasp the arms and sway side to side. This is going to relieve any tension in the hamstrings. And then we're going to release, rolling up vertebrae by vertebrae, bringing the arms over the head and coming into a full body stretch onto our tiptoes. I apologize that the frame is slightly cut out at the top. Just bear with me. And then we're going to bring the arms back down and push the hands into the lower back and bring the stomach forward. Okay, now extending the arms up above the head, we're going to come into a standing side body pull. We can clasp the hands and then just come side to side. Again, working out those obliques and stretching the waist. Okay, and now extending the arms and then lowering down into our chair pose. So we're keeping the shoulders back, the gaze upwards, and the knees shouldn't be coming over the toes. And then we're going to roll forward into full forward fold, half forward fold, inhale, bring the hands to the mat, and then jump or walk back into a plank. And then we're going to come into our half push-up, our cobra, and then we're going to tuck the feet and push the hips back to find our downward dog. We're going to extend the right leg into the air for our three-legged dog. Okay, now we're going to drive that knee forward and come into a high lunge, otherwise known as warrior one. And then we're going to come into a low lunge and then a high lunge. And then we're going to do 10 of these. Again, not letting the knee go over the toes as we lower down and work out those legs. Okay, now bending the back leg and extending the arms, we're going to come into our warrior three, trying to keep that back leg straight and keeping the balance. And then we're going to release and come back into our reverse warrior, keeping the gaze up. And then releasing, resting the elbow on the knee into our side angle, again keeping the gaze up, feeling that stretch. And then releasing to come into our warrior two. Okay, keeping the arms horizontal, we're going to turn that right foot inwards, come down into a low squat for our goddess pose. And then either keeping the hands on the legs, we're going to come up and down. You can put the palms together if you wish. And then this is really going to work out the glutes with these little pulses. Keeping the toes pointing outwards, making sure the knees don't go over the toes. Turning that front foot and coming back into our warrior two, and then into our dragon. So bringing that back knee all the way down to the mat, Pushing the hips forward, keeping them square. And then we're going to lower down and come into a half split by extending the front leg. You can lower yourself down to get a deeper stretch, or you can lift up onto your hands, whatever is most comfortable, as we rotate the foot side to side. And then we're going to come back and forward, so from dragon to half splits, really opening up those hips and those legs. And then we're going to bend that front leg and come into a sleeping swan. Now either you can bring the foot further out or bring it more inwards to decrease the tension. You can stay up. You can pull the back leg in to get in that extra quad stretch. You can lower down onto your elbows if this is comfortable for you, and if you'd like that deeper stretch, you can come all the way down onto the mat. And this is a really good stretch for the glutes. And in the next few breaths, we're going to come back up onto our hands, and then we're going to come straight into three-legged dog. And then we're going to lower down into downward dog, bend the knees, look up and hop forward or walk forward into our full forward fold, our half forward fold, and then all the way up into mountain pose. Okay, and now coming straight back down into our chair pose, full forward fold, half forward fold, deep breath in, jump back, and come into a low push-up, and then into our cobra. Tuck the toes, push the hips back into our downward dog as we come into a three-legged dog with our left leg raised in the air. And then drive the knee forward and come into a high lunge. Now from here we're going to come back into our lunges again, just like we did on the other side. Okay, and now bending that back leg, we're going to extend the arms upwards and come into warrior three. Trying to find the balance, hold it for as long as you can. And then we're going to drop that back leg and come into our reverse warrior, keeping the gaze up, resting the back hand on the back of the thigh, resting the elbow onto the knee. We're going to come into our side angle pose, keeping the arm extended above us. And then we're going to come back into our warrior two, and then down into our dragon. Again, pushing those hips forward, keeping them square, and then extending that front leg into a half split. You can rotate the foot side to side. You can stay up on the hands, or you can lower down into a fold to get that deeper stretch. And then we're going to come forward into dragon, and then back into a half split. And then again, coming back and forth, creating some mobility in the hips. And then we're going to tuck that left foot inwards, and then come into sleeping swan. And then we can take that back leg for a quad stretch. We can prop the body up onto the hips. We can come down onto the elbows to make it a little bit harder. And if you would like the full stretch, you can come down and lay on the mat. Okay, and now gently releasing as we come into our cool down, we're going to find a seated position. Extend the legs out in front of us and come into a full forward fold. You can grab the toes for a nice hamstring stretch. And then you can cross the foot over the leg and come into our sage pose, Keeping the spine straight as we look behind us, and then releasing, and then crossing the foot over the opposite leg, and then coming into the other side, keeping the shoulders down. And then we're going to release, give the legs a little shake as we come back and lay down onto our mat. Come into a full body stretch. Inhale, and then we're going to draw the knees into the chest. Give them a little hug. Take the back of the feet, and then come into a happy baby. This is great for the groin as we pull the feet towards us and our knees and hips into the mat. You can rock side to side. You can bring the feet together for namaste feet. Again, just rocking side to side. And then extending both legs out in front of us for our Svanasana. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me today. I hope that you had a good workout and that you feel nice and strong and more flexible. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and if you're interested in private yoga classes with me, then click the link down below and have a lovely day. I will see you all next time.